everyone, welcome to Star Oracle and welcome back to all of you who are subscribers or who have watched my videos in the past. Wonderful to have you all here. Today we're looking at the concept or idea of that your success is actually waiting for you on the other side of something that is perhaps holding you back or standing in between you and what you're hoping for at this time. So we're going to dive into that and look into it. The reason why I'm doing this question is because there is a lot going on with Mercury in the sky right now and has been for the last few, well, I would say at least a week, and it's building up. So Mercury is at the point in the cosmos right now where it is just in this, it's forming kind of a T-square aspect. So it first went and made a square to Jupiter in Cancer. It is moving through Libra right now. So Mercury made the square to Jupiter, then it made an opposition to Chiron in Aries, and soon it will be moving just in a few, I'm not sure how many days actually. It's pretty close. It's getting close to moving into the sign of Scorpio. And once it moves into the sign of Scorpio, it's kind of at that magic spot where it actually will be forming a yod configuration with Neptune at the one base and Uranus at the other side. And so it is like the finger of God point to Mercury once it moves into that position. So there's a lot happening, and it will square Pluto as well as it moves into Scorpio. So a lot with Mercury, a lot of pressure upon Mercury at this time, not to mention that soon towards middle to end of October, it will be making a conjunction to Mars and then be going retrograde. So I just thought it's this moment where there's a lot in terms of things that want to be reworked or uncovered in terms of how we can actually communicate things better, how we can use our talents and skills in ways that are actually going to bring us more towards our success in a way that's honoring our energy, things like this, because Mercury, we can get so distracted or moving in so many directions, and it just feels like with all of this pressure being put upon Mercury with where it is right now, that it's a good moment to sort of ask this question so it can help us focus in as we move through October especially. So if that is interesting to you, I'm really glad you're here. So we're going to look at this through these 3 different piles today, and I will go ahead and show you the stones if that helps you. So for pile 1, we have the Fluorite. For pile 2, we have this bit of rose quartz. It's a little faded, but still a lovely piece. And for pile 3, we have the Obsidian. So go ahead and take a deep breath and come into some kind of awareness. Maybe one of the piles is gently pulling you towards it at this time. And I will see you at your reading. Bye, y'all. Hi, group 1. Y'all chose the Fluorite here and this card, which we'll look at the very end. Today we are asking that question or looking at your success is waiting on the other side of this. So we're going to look at this to understand it more clearly of what's going on. We'll be asking what's holding you back or what the issue is, and then we'll be looking at what you need to know about the thing that you are desiring, the outcome that you'd like, or the circumstances that you're in. Just kind of get more clarity around that. And then we're going to look at the best way to handle this right now, some advice, and then this card is going to be for confirmations. So some kind of energy you might be in, or confirmations that you are on the right track, or that it's very soon, that will be coming to pass very soon. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's just get started. I was feeling called to using this deck for your group for the first few questions. So let's just get into it. So for the folks who are feeling drawn to the first pile here with the Fluorite, what is it that is actually holding them back here? From from their desire, from success, or whatever you're trying to manifest, energy you're trying to be in, whatever it might be. What is it that is holding you back, or what is the issue here? What's going on? I don't know if that card. Okay, we'll take that one too. Alright, and what is it that you might need to know about this desired thing? Any outcome you might need to know, or a circumstance maybe you don't know about? Hidden information, essentially. That was on the bottom. Okay. And the best way to handle this right now, I'm actually, well, let's do these first and then we'll answer that. Let me just make sure these are centered. So for what is holding you back here, we have the Lover's card coming through with the 5 of branches. And it was interesting when I shuffled that this card just like was trying to come out but couldn't, and that to me, but it still was sticking out at the end, which is why I grabbed it. And I believe that that is really pointing to something that you are just really holding on to or not necessarily wanting to look at or expose of yourself, which could be something related to a lot of past pains in a relationship that are kind of blocking you towards the success of whatever it is that you're trying to manifest at this time. So, or whatever your desire is here, or your whatever you're looking or thinking about when it comes to this reading. So this to me, it just feels really painful. It feels like unprocessed rage, honestly, or pain, or betrayals, like karmic lessons that you haven't maybe allowed to fully move through your body and allowed yourself to feel completely. I'm really paying attention to the scissors in this Lover's card. I don't usually. It's almost like there might be a need here to cut ties with certain people or experiences from your past that really put you in a place of feeling a level, I'm hearing toxicity, a level of toxicity, even just within yourself, right? Like not being able to bring out the best of you and you really wanting that for yourself. And I think part of this just feels really stifling as well, of your energy, of your voice, of your spirit. Just, but the problem isn't them, right? It's not that person or that experience. It's the fact that you haven't turned this card over completely, right? You haven't let it fall out. Like you haven't let yourself reach that point of just like releasing it in whatever means possible. Like whether that is through just like allowing the rage to come through, like primal screaming or something like that, writing a letter that you're maybe not going to send to the person and burning it, doing whatever you can that feels most loving to you at this time. Because it just feels like a wound here that is very much open, but not being acknowledged. And that's definitely holding you back in whatever this is that you're hoping to gain success with. And I think that this reading is very much trying to say, like, you cannot, you can't just keep moving forward and expect for things to be okay and like bring you what you want when this is really, really prevalent here. And the wands can sometimes deal with karmic lessons, right? And this to me is just something that you're meant to work through in this life, and there's no shame needed or guilt to be put on upon yourself on however this anger or these intense feelings want to come up through you, perhaps even while Mercury is moving through Scorpio and going to meet with Mars. It might be a good time if you need to actually voice yourself firmly or create some boundaries, however that might look to you. Whatever is most loving for you, you know, like to even just with the lovers here, this might just be a pattern of behavior of prioritizing relationships above your own needs, like the other person's needs above your own, and then feeling like resentful about it later, or just having a difficulty expressing your voice and then feeling ashamed because when you do it feels too like harsh, or it feels out of character for you. Because there might be like, you might just be a softie, right? But you're not finding ways to really like express who you are fully within your connections. And so there's this need here of addressing the wound. And this isn't to say like, you know, everyone needs different things at different times. We all need different things at different points of our growth and development in life. So this doesn't mean like, okay, I just need to tell everyone off, right? No, like, that's not, I don't think that you would actually be happy with that outcome for yourself or for anyone else. It's more just, how can I let this breathe? Like, how can I feed that fire and pour it into something that feels really exciting to me, that feels like it's life-giving to me again, and for me, not for other people, right? Like something that is just for me. And yeah, like giving that I'm just thinking like the alchemical process with the Five of Branches here, because the fives are all about change. And I'm thinking about like how we have to burn everything up, right? And then like this whole process that we go through. And just if you're maybe an artist of some sort, fives are also like the five in astrology, the fifth house is so much about creativity. If you have any way of literally like pouring your messy heart out, right, through any kind of artistic work, something that can help you to transmute the energy and really let it all out. Like there's just a feeling here in a sense of like it needs to explode a little bit before you're going to be able to like get to the other side where the success is lying for you, where your success is. Which to me, moving on to these next cards here, this is that like what's kind of hidden from you energy, what you might need to know about the thing that you are desiring, the outcome, whatever it might be. And how, like, there is no better outcome here, honestly. Like we have the 10 of stones or the 10 of pentacles here. And we also have the 9 of cups. Like that is the wish fulfilled. And what I'm really sensing with these two together is like the amount of vulnerability I'm actually feeling from this particular 9 of cups is really beautiful, especially coming from this energy. And there is a sense of like that maybe this is like you just need to hear the promise that that vulnerability can exist in your dream world. Like the outcome that you're looking for needs to include all of your emotions with others, with a lot of people too. Like this isn't just one cup that you're sharing or two cups, you know, like you're sharing a cup with one other person. This is 9 cups. Like, and this is the 10 of pentacles, which in this image, it's like there's community here, you know, it just feels like a space where a lot of people live together. There's something about maybe you've been prioritizing like one-to-one relationships too much, and that has felt really heavy or difficult. And on this side of things, like perhaps this is just saying like there's so many ways that whatever it is that you are envisioning as success, that it can come to be, and not to limit yourself because so many different people or like opportunities are actually available to give you a level of a feeling of wish fulfillment that are also tied to a lot of stability with this 10 of stones, but also it's stability because you are free to express yourself, because you're free to be messy too. I mean, this is just like the water is everywhere in this cup, in this card. It's just like nobody's holding back here. And that is really saying like the safety is lying in that kind of expression for you. And I think it's kind of interesting actually that you chose the fluorite, because it is always like kind of connected to a like watery energy for me when I'm, you know, looking at pieces of fluorite and whatnot. I don't know if this is actually true, but I almost feel like, isn't it I think it's a good stone for travelers as well. You know, by boat, traveling the ocean, traveling in any sort of fashion, I feel like is fluorite is a good one for that. So that's kind of interesting. So maybe like you need this as you're traveling through whatever this is. And yeah, it is like, I think this is really nice to have this message come through though. And I think that it needed to, like, there's safety and like desire and pleasure and beauty and connection all available exactly as you are. Like even when you're spilling the tea, right? Like even when you're spilling about your own mess of like all that you just went through here, you know? And we're not talking like gossiping, right? You know, it's more just like I'm allowed to have the feelings that I do, and like I'm allowed to be growing, like I'm allowed to be in a growth process, and I don't have to be perfect here. So all right, let's ask that kind of answered a lot of that, but let's see if there's anything else that wants to come with the best way to handle this right now. Maybe advice like for the present moment. So for my group ones, what's some good advice for them, especially in their present moment right now? All right, I'm just going to take these. So we have slowing down with the Knight of Pentacles here, and experiencing, that is the Three of Wands. I think this is really interesting actually, that you got Pentacles and Wands for something that feels like really emotional, right? But it's so helpful when we can ground our emotions in different ways or have like different tools to work with them. And I love this experiencing card, the way that it's like almost feels like she's totally in tune, or this figure's like totally in tune with this tree, which seems to have its own aura. It feels like it's important for you to understand more how to utilize your psychic senses and your ability to read energy. Maybe this is familiar to you. I don't know what exactly is coming up, but it does feel important. And being able to discern between your own and others so that you're not continually taking on other people's energy, and then using things that are more safe to do that practice with, like with a tree or with an animal, or with someone who you really trust, right? Like learning those boundaries, not with people who you have really intense, you know, relationships with, but, or like with strangers, right? But with like in nature, or it can even be like, honestly, like finding a stone or a leaf or something and just spending time with it and the energy of it. There's something here about honing your skills of that, and the fact that when we do come deeper into our own, moving through our own pain, And going through that process can actually bring us so much more in tune with our senses and with our ability to actually have more of that online, because we're just deepening the amount of information that we can take in. So this could be, I'm almost sensing like becoming like you're like melting, right? Like melting away some of the difficult barriers you might have created in order to keep you away from this level of heat, right? And this level of intensity. So as that's happening, like find ways that you can start to see the gifts and what's actually coming back up, like through the pain, yes, but when that happens, that there's almost new things available to you. So you can pay attention to that. And with slowing down, I feel like that's the same message. It's the Knight, right, of Pentacles. That this process is something that you want to take your time with, not to overwhelm yourself, and make sure you have like touchstones that will keep you connected and grounded to the earth, to the root, right, of your being, to really make sure that you feel sturdy through whatever it is that you are going through. And I think too, like the Three of Wands always makes me think of just body, mind, spirit coming together to have a really powerful forward moving momentum. So this feels like that is what is needed, the parts that are needed to come together in order to reach the other side to what you're hoping for, is to like activate whatever this is that is needing you to turn this card over, right? To actually let it fall, and just let yourself be free, like allow it to come up and create a safe container for yourself to let that happen. Whatever method is going to be best for you to really let that out. All right, now we're gonna look at the last card here, and this, like I said, is any confirmation. This is a sweet deck that an old friend of mine made forever ago, and I'm gonna actually grab their book and read what it says. It's the Crystal Oracle deck by Jessica Fancy. So let's see which stone you got. These are all crystals. All right, we have the moss agate, which is wild because it's almost like similar colors to the fluorite. I love that. So I'm just gonna read what it says in the book. Moss agate is a stone that is deeply connected to nature and the plant world. Oh, isn't that funny? It brings us new beginnings and offers regrowth of trust after situations involving any kind of betrayal. If you've been feeling disconnected, spaced out, and with no purpose, moss agate is here to show you that pushing through the pain and moving forward is the only way out of your current dilemma. The releasing of old fears is necessary for your growth, and moss agate is here to help you reconnect with the world around you. Start little by little if you have to. Small steps accumulate at the end of each day. Zodiac sign, a Virgo, and tarot card, the Fool. So, wow, that is literally like the same message that I was getting here. And in terms of signs, moss in general, like having, I don't know, like seeing moss in places you won't expect it. Maybe drawing the Fool card if you do tarot of any kind. This is so fascinating to me though, like trust after situations involving betrayal, which is literally what I was saying here. So this is very significant for y'all. You might actually want to get some moss agate or just meditate with that stone in mind, because honestly, it does the same thing. Like you don't have to have the physical stone to actually receive benefits. You can just meditate on different stones and call upon their energy for support. But yeah, and also Venus is still in Virgo right now, so the next week might be really significant to continue working with that Virgo energy. And we had an eclipse in Virgo, we had 2 new moons in Virgo, so Virgo people popping up in your life might be a sign as well that things are, that you're on the right track here, or that something is about to move forward with this. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, if you're getting any other like synchronicities from this, feel free to use those as well in terms of the future. But I'm gonna put this up here so you can screenshot if you'd like. All right. So with that, thank you everyone, and hopefully I'll see you in another reading. And if you are interested, I actually just opened up personal readings of just Oracle and Tarot cards, which I've never done before. So I do, astrology sessions, and sometimes I will draw cards for clients, but I've never done just cards, aside from like friends and family and obviously myself like every day for decades. So, I love doing this. But I've never charged for it or just only done this by itself. So I'm really excited to offer this. So if you're interested, I'm doing just one question and it's $25, and I will send you like a 15 to 20 minute video with your reading. So if you'd like to do that, it's all in the description box if you want the info for that. But other than that, you can check out my other offerings also. I'm still obviously doing astrology sessions as well, and I always have other things going on. You can also follow me over on Instagram or TikTok. I do daily, or not daily, but I do at least 1 or 2 short readings a week over there, and I do a ton of other content on TikTok especially. TikTok's really the best place to follow me because Instagram really cuts down on how long I can do videos and all sorts of things. Anyways, I really have been focusing more of my attention on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, definitely follow me there. If not, you can follow me on Instagram. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna end it there. I really send you a lot of empowerment through this time, and to let you know that you can do this. And actually, I will say, before I started this reading, I was having this vision of like being in a cave and being in like really warm water and like looking up at the stars. So it's almost like in a cave, but there was an opening at the top of it, and so I could see out and see the stars. And I just feel like it's kind of this message for your group that if you are able to face this stuff, that you're still going to be able to see the stars, like there's still this cosmic support for what you're going through, even as you're inside of the cave and going deeper into your own process and letting it out. And also knowing that like you're not just confined to this place, like there's the vast cosmos that like want to hold whatever this is that is needing to come through you. So all right, now we're gonna end it. Love you all, and hopefully subscribe if you enjoyed this, and you're not subscribed already. I would love to have you here. And otherwise, I will see you another time, or have a lovely evening or day whenever you see this. Much love, y'all. Bye. Hi, group 2. Y'all chose the rose quartz and this card here, which we are going to look to at the end of your reading. So today we are looking at your success is waiting on the other side of this. So we're looking at what this is. And the questions we're going to be asking is what is holding you back, or what the issue is, and then what you might need to know about your desired thing, whatever it might be, or something you might need to know about the outcome, or something you need to know about this circumstance in general. It's kind of like maybe things that are hidden from you. We'll just see what comes up. And then we're also going to be looking at the best way to handle this right now, so some advice. And at the end, we'll look to any confirmations or synchronicities that are going to show that you're on the right track. So that's what this card is about. We'll look at that card, and it might have like, things that you might experience, energy you might experience, or things you might see before whatever this is comes into your life. All right, so let's get started here. I'm going to start with this deck. So we're just going to ask what is holding you back. So for my pile 2s here, my rose quartz pile. What is it that's holding them back from their desire, their manifestations, their success, whatever it might be, whatever you're hoping for that is not showing up? is the issue? Oh, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Still on the floor. I totally bent the card as it went down, fell between my legs here, which was the Ace of Pentacles. All right. And Prince of Discs. Seven of Wands. All right, and let's go ahead and ask the other question here, which is, oops, what you might need to know about this desired thing. What do I need to know? Oh, what's going on here? What's hidden from them, maybe, about this? Oh, that was a lot. Okay. Do I want this? I'll take this. Okay, I'll put these two as one here. Let me kind of rearrange. You had more cards than the first group, so that's okay. More information is good sometimes. Let's see. These really came out together, so. Alright, pile two. This is pretty interesting. I feel like with this first part here of what it is that's holding you back, I'm actually getting a sense of like being too stable. Like, or too set in your ways of what is going to get you to the other side of what the thing is that you're hoping for. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Prince of Discs here, it feels like, okay, here's my goal. There's the potential with the Ace, and I'm taking my time and I'm plodding along and I know exactly how to get there. And there's this pesky like Seven of Wands that, you know, this is Mars and Leo. Like, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb, right? Like, I'm gonna make my mark. So there might either be this way that you are not actually addressing this energy within you, or you're afraid of it, or you don't think it belongs in this process somehow. Like, it's not actually okay, or like, this is also kind of a fighting, can be a fighting energy, or feels like you have to prove yourself. So it could be that you are on this path, but there's a secret underlying like subconscious thing that's happening where you're doing this maybe more to prove something than questioning, is this truly what I'm wanting to build right now? And the reason that I'm saying that is because we have this Knight of Swords with the Devil. And when I was looking at this, I was just getting this sense of like, is this Knight of Swords like your, I'm just thinking like chi, you know, like the breath coming through as this Knight of Swords, directing your focus, like that Mercury energy, directing it straight into the Devil. Like, here I'm going into this thing that's actually going to keep me like trapped in the physical world, because we've got like not trapped, like whatever, we're all here in the physical world, but you know, I mean, like trapped in some way of thinking, some way of being that is very conditioned by others, that is making it so that you actually are not fully able to express this true, like, or more underlying desire that's wanting to be present and out in the open here. And instead it's like, oh no, like I'm the thing that perhaps you're actually wanting, like maybe this is just saying you need to dig a little deeper and make sure that that is what you want, because these cards are kind of for the what's, you know, hidden energy here, or what something else you need to know, like with both of these swords cards coming through with the devil, and then we also have the 8 of cups. It's like this is, you know, often emotional exhaustion here, feeling like confusion and just needing to walk away from something because it's not serving you on that level of life force. It's draining of the life force. Both of these to me are like the life force is being drained and utilized for someone else, the purpose of someone else. And we have 2 swords cards that are here that are like, please look, please dig deeper, please take the mask off here and understand your true brilliance and what the value of your life force energy here. Like, absolutely want to do that. And it was interesting because before I started your reading, I was having a lot of like, it felt very much connected to ancestors. I was even like seeing images of like people's hair being braided. So that could be like, you know, cultural tradition or something that you share, or moments you've shared with elders in your life. And it's giving me this sense of there could be a way that you have a lot of reverence or respect for these folks, like, or for these folks, for tradition and for carrying on certain legacies that your family uphold, or people in your specific culture or background or like communities that are really important to you. And I don't think that this is saying that you have to rework all of that, but I think it's saying actually it's just like that your ancestors are proud of you no matter what you're doing, and that they actually really want you to embody this energy here, and that they're going to be supportive of you, that you don't have to follow in exactly the same path as they do, and that there's many ways to honor who they are in your life or who they've been in your experience. And this might also just mean that you have ancestors who are really looking out for you. You know, it might not be that specific for your story, but I just had to mention that because it was coming through before I started the reading. So, yeah, like take a pause and just really ask yourself, like, what am I telling, like, what am I trying to do here? Is it truly serving me? Is it not even serving me? You know, is it serving my soul? Like, when I really truly connect to my heart, is it actually the thing that is making me feel most alive? And that's how you know. Like, when things are connected to our heart, which is our soul speaks through the heart space, it feels enlivening, right? Like, it feels inspiring. The soul speaks through inspiration. It feels easy. It feels like unguarded. So ask yourself if your goals are connected to that. I do think it's interesting too that this like fell through my legs and I bent it, you know? So it feels like, yeah, maybe your ace here, your goal is a little bit distorted. That there's a need to take a second look at whatever that is. It's always interesting the way that readings can go when you know, different things like that happen. What else do I want to say? Anything? There was one more thing, but I think it'll come through with the next question. So let's just ask right now, what's the best way for my group 2 to actually start handling this? Some advice here. What's the best way they can approach this, especially now having to kind of like reapproach things maybe? What I will say if you're watching this, when I uploaded, I have a heart activation. That's a guided active meditation. It's currently free, but only for a few more days, only until the 7th of October. But if you're catching this when I'm first uploading it, it might still be free. Otherwise, it's like, it's really cheap, but it's a meditation that goes really deep and can really, really help you actually tune back into the heart's desire by clearing away any grief that you're holding on to, and issues that need to be processed that are kind of like constricting the heart a little bit. So that might be something of interest to you. I just want to bring that up, and I'll have it linked in the description box as well. All right, but for my group 2, what's some advice for them right now? You're just getting all of the cards today. Let me see where I can put these. So we have this breakthrough energy, which is interesting for the Justice card here. But I love that it's really reminding me of this card, of the 7 of Wands here. And this need of letting yourself stand out, or letting your inner spirit to actually be externalized in some way so that you can see it more clearly, so that you can play with that energy. And I do think it's interesting we have the heart on this one with the Lovers, and it's like seeing yourself clearly, maybe through the eyes of those who love you fully, or even like that ancestral image coming up again, that you can know and be held by fully allowing those who love you unconditionally to witness you, especially as you're going through this process. And I think this laziness card here, this is the 9 of Cups, is like, let yourself relax, especially if you've been in this very much like material world, taking all the correct steps. This just feels very like determined energy that is enduring and very structured, and a little buttoned down. And I think this card is like, it's okay to let yourself relax here, and that actually that might help you in terms of listening more deeply to the heart, and to know more clearly what your true desires are, and that pleasure is okay. Like, it's okay to lean into pleasure throughout this process of you trying to get whatever this is that you're looking for, that you're desiring here, and that it's not the enemy. And it's kind of interesting that we have the Devil showing up here, because this can be like when our pleasure gets distorted, right? And the pleasure starts to become a trap in itself. But this is different to me, even though this card does sometimes speak of that, but that's not what I'm reading in this particular reading. I'm getting this more the sense of that you get to define for yourself and really feel into what truly satisfies you, because I kind of feel like you've been living a little bit through what other people have decided what that is for you. And this card is just saying to like really lean into that more, so that you can become even more clear, to help you move through like from the breakdown process into breaking through, breaking open the heart, creating that awareness for yourself of what it is that you really truly want moving forward, when you can just be like, I'm done trying to hide myself in this way, or really thinking that I was supposed to do things this way. And also know, like, whatever it is that you've been doing, you're clearly a very determined person and really good at doing that. So whatever this is then that you find inside of that, first of all, you're going to have complete support of, your at least like spirit guided ancestors, right, who were really coming through very strongly before I even started the reading. But also, with the Lovers showing up, this could also just be powerful people in your life um, who are very much wanting your success too, and really wanting you to choose yourself, to really prioritize your pleasure and your passions in this lifetime. So that's really the goal. I think this reading is really like wanting you to recenter on picking a journey, picking a path where even if you're not reaching the goal, that the entire walk there, the entire journey to get there is going to feel satisfying for you. And that might be a question that you really want to start to ask yourself, is like, if I never reach my goal here, will the journey have been worth it? You know? And often the journey is worth it if we're doing it for ourselves and we're not doing it for other people. It doesn't always even matter if we reach our goal or not, right? So yeah, I think those are the messages for that. Let's look at this final card here, which is the confirmations or synchronicities, whatever it might be, that are going to show you that you really are on the right track, and something, maybe a sign that you'll see or an energy you might experience. So this is the Visions, a crystal oracle deck from an old friend of mine, Jessica Fancy, and I thought it would be fun. They're all crystals, different crystals, to just read from the book here. So y'all got the cactus quartz. So let's see what the book says about this. Okay. Cactus quartz is here to connect you with your ancestors and guides. Okay, you cannot make this stuff up. That's wild, okay? I did not read any of this or know before I did this reading. That's really... Okay, if you are not connected already or feel deeply connected to your ancestors, know that they are absolutely surrounding you and that you do have access to them, and they would really like to connect to you and for you to lean into them. And because I was getting that message around like the hair and braiding the hair, maybe there's certain traditions that you remember growing up or that you feel connected to, even like baking certain things of your, that you know you had with elders in your family who maybe have passed on, or just things that are traditional for you culturally. Whatever it might be that you can do to honor that connection and to deepen it and make sure that you understand that they are still fully present in your life, like take advantage of that, because they are all over the place in the street. All right, so okay, it's here to connect you with your ancestors and guides. It promotes self-forgiveness and is able to pinpoint significant karmic connections. If cactus quartz is showing up for you, your ancestors are knocking at your door. Ancestral healing is about healing the unresolved trauma, toxic patterns, and emotional issues of those who walked on this earth before you. In doing this work, it can release you from any energetic patterns and blockages that have been affecting your life in negative ways. This work is vital to our health and well-being, as emotional and cellular traumas are passed down to us from generation to generation. The patterns continue with future generations if the work is not being done. If you are finding yourself at a roadblock, this is considered to be an opportunity to heal. Cactus quartz is here to assist you in this difficult but necessary task. So take a moment to honor those who have come before you and release yourself from their patterns. The zodiac sign Libra, tarot card Justice, which didn't we get Justice? And I think that's fascinating that this particular deck, the Justice card is represented by breakthrough. Like, how powerful is that of a message in terms of breaking through ancestral patterns? And I think like a lot of the messages maybe from that were coming through around the ancestors are that you get to decide what traditions and what patterns you're carrying on in your life from them. And with things like with generational patterns that we inherit, sometimes it's hard to see that that's what we're doing. And so this might be a moment, like a wake-up call for you to understand that even in your own you know, having good intentions or thinking that, you're on the right direction right now. There might just be a way though that you're diminishing yourself, or you're not actually fully in tune with what that truest passion is. And nothing is wasted, though. I want to make that very clear. No work that you've put in is wasted. Absolutely nothing in this life is ever wasted. Nothing we do, right? We're always going to have then something we can learn from that, or some random thing that we have acquired over our life that will make sense at some point. Like, there's no mistake in everything you've done thus far. But this moment in particular is one for you to really get a chance to reassess and understand more clearly, like, am I following this particular goal because of some way that I am holding on to a pattern that is no longer needed in my family line, in my generational line, my ancestral line? Like, how can I really move through that, in a way that I'm on my side now? Like, I don't have to hold on to those things anymore, and this feels like the opportunity to really release some of that with full embrace and love from your ancestors backing you through the process. And I was thinking this where it said karmic, what did it say? It's able to pinpoint significant karmic connections. So with the Lover's card too, there may be a specific connection in your life that either falls apart or comes together, perhaps in a new way. Something around a significant relationship, which could be a confirmation that things are really shifting. Like, that might be a synchronicity that happens when you know that you're really starting to understand this energy more clearly, which would make sense because often when we work through these different difficult patterns, people in our lives also, like, our relationships just tend to naturally shift because we're not really showing up the same way as we used to. But with cactus quartz as well, I would definitely say, like, if you see an actual cactus, right? That could be a sign. And thinking of other signs that are coming along here. Just looking over the book again. Things to do with Libra or justice, so maybe like the image of the scales, anything that kind of makes you think of that particular imagery around the scales of justice, or like the blindfolded statue of justice, right? Things like that. And just being in the energy. I think when you start to really deeply feel and sense your ancestors as well more readily, on even like a daily basis, honestly, like that they're just a presence in your life in a way that feels very supportive. Like, you're gonna know, okay, I'm definitely heading in the right direction here, and things are really about to shift more in my favor for whatever this hopefully new vision or goal or modified goal, whatever it might be, for that to really start to deeply impact your life and make it so much more satisfying and exciting in the whole process of it. So, all right, my group twos, thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. This was a beautiful reading. Thank you to your ancestors for coming through so strongly as well in this particular reading. And if you're interested in a personal reading, I'm an astrologer mainly, so I have just had astrology sessions, but I recently opened up tarot and oracle readings that I've never done them just on their own. Sometimes I bring in the cards in a astrology session, but I'm excited to offer this. So obviously I love reading cards, but it's not something I've offered professionally. So I'm just doing one question offerings now. So if you're interested in having a question answered, I will send you a 15 to 20 minute video in response, and they are $25, and you can find them in the description box if that interests you. And also the information about that heart activation is also in the description box, along with any other offerings that I have at the moment. So yeah, and if you did want that heart activation Try and get it before October 7th. It's free through then. I was just offering it during eclipse season. So, all right, my lovely group twos, sending a lot of fortification, a lot of relaxation, and love. A lot of love to y'all as you work through this. So, all right, bye, y'all. Hi, group three. Y'all chose the Obsidian here and this card, which we're going to look at the end. So I'm going to set this over here. Today we are looking at your success is hiding or waiting. Sorry, not hiding. Your success is waiting on the other side of this. So we're going to look at what it is. Like, what is this? What, might be blocking you, what the issue is here. So the first question that we're looking at is what's holding you back or what the issue is. Second question we'll look at is what you need to know about the desired thing, about the outcome or the circumstance, something that might be hidden from you at this time is kind of the vibe there with the second question. Then we'll look at the best way to handle this, whatever that information is, some advice. And then this card here is the final one that we're going to look at in terms of any synchronicities or energy that you might experience, things happening before you know that you're getting close, or that whatever this is that you're hoping for in terms of your success or your desire or some specific thing, you'll know that it's close to you or about to happen in terms of what this card is going to say. So, all right, let's do it. I'm going to start with this deck here. So for my folks, the Black Obsidian folks here. Three. What is it that is holding them back? What is the issue here? Question, which is, what do you need to know about this desired thing? Is there something hidden from you here, from the outcome or the circumstances happening here? What's I need to know about that for my pile 3 folks? Those were together. All right, pile 3. So for what is holding you back, what the issue is, things are just closing out, okay? Cycles are needing to close. And they are ending. And I'm sorry if this is taking longer than you think that it will. But with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Swords here, to me, I'm getting the sense that you are, though, in this place of release, which is amazing. And there might need to be more trust in terms of allowing full surrender into like handing the wheel over a bit. Whatever this might be that you're hoping for could be kind of something that is truly meant for you to experience in this life, but not meant for you to know when exactly it's going to happen. And like not something that you can control. But obviously it is something you are controlling because you are keeping your focus upon it, or you are sending, your positive energy towards it, or visioning yourself in that position, or whatever it is, like visioning yourself being in the energy of it. But there's just been certain things in your life that have really had to be full on allowed to pass through you. Past experiences of pain, of like things that you really needed to transform. I'm just looking, paying attention to the butterfly here, and I feel like that's your spirit, like getting lighter and lighter. And this might be a case too where the actual road, the things that you are considering blockages. What is that quote? Isn't it Marcus Aurelius quote? That's like the like the blockage becomes the way, or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote. Oh my goodness. But essentially saying like that having these blockages is actually incredibly important on your path, because what it's been doing, even though I know it's painstaking, it has been part of what has helped you allow these swords to be pulled out from your back, right? Like it is the thing that is allowing you to move into this next chapter of life from a more weightless perspective, like not feeling so burdened, and not feeling so trapped also by your own mental narratives and like ways of thinking. It's like you've been under a lot of tests. Like you may feel like you've just been being constantly tested. It's like, when is this going to end? Oh my goodness. But yes, there is an end in sight, especially with like 10 of swords and the wheel, which is 10, 10, 10, right? Like things are coming to a close. They're coming even maybe full circle. You might have a full circle moment with somebody in your life, someone, who exited coming back in, or something along those lines. Something like that is coming back around, but not going to repeat in the way that it did once before, right? Like you're making new decisions here, and that is ultimately leading you towards this successful outcome with having the Six of Wands here. And I'm really loving this crown on this figure, and this like giant, right? It feels like this celestial crowning, and really witnessing of how much you have truly shed to be able to be victorious here in this circumstance. But that it's not like, I'm not really reading this as a block that is this treacherous thing that you need to go through. It's like, no, you have actually been working this block for a long time. It might honestly have been years that you've been working this, and it's all been part of the thing. It's like literally been giving you, right, the muscles that you needed in order to be the person who can hold whatever this is that you are desiring. So it's not been a block. It's literally just been like the training that you've needed in order to get there. So I hope that that reframe, or maybe I kind of feel like you know this already, but I know it can be really supportive to hear that. And so I just want to like give you props for all of the journeying that you've been doing with this, because you are also the one who's turning that wheel, like, yes, it's destiny and fate, but you've clearly been putting in the effort in order to be reaching this place where you're going to be crowned, right? Like you're the one who has been devoted to that process, and to making sure that when that wheel does turn, you're going to be good and ready, right, to receive whatever this is that you're looking for. And with over here, when we were looking at things hidden from you, or more information that you might need to know here, the Tower coming out with the Four of Cups, to me, I was getting this message of like, this cup was the Tower. Like, good thing that you didn't take it. Like that actually certain experiences that maybe while you've been going through this process, or even now, just maybe you need this forewarning, that if there are things that are kind of I don't want to say temptations, but seem like maybe I can take that instead. Like maybe that's a good substitute for whatever this is that I'm hoping for. that is not for you, right? Like that is just going to be another break in the foundation somehow, right? Like it's just creating more chaos. You know what you want. Like this is giving a level of I'm authentic in myself enough to understand what is right and what is not right for me as a soul here in this life. Like I know what feels right to me. And so this is just kind of that like reminder confirmation to say don't don't settle here. Don't settle even if it feels tempting because you are so close. Like it really feels like you're very close for this to even come out into what's holding you back, what's the issue. Um like there isn't. You're just strength training. Like you're in training. You've been in training. And you are reaching that level of success. So no matter what it is, this is literally the card of victory and success. So I'm just reading it that way as a general thing of whatever that is that you are hoping for. And also with the Temperance card or the Alchemist here coming out, this is just saying like you have been becoming in the background. Like maybe it's hidden to you. Hopefully it's not so hidden that you have become this master alchemist, the one who can really know and work through some different difficult challenging things, to have been withheld from something you desire, or a path that you feel is so right for you, and having things not go your way, and just having to learn how to take that material from what you're given and work it so you're still heading in the same direction that you're hoping for. Like this is a huge part of who you're becoming, and why you're on this particular path. I think is maybe the hidden message here is like this is like a big card. I'm really just seeing this as you, like that you are this alchemist, that you are the temperance energy. And that's what I'm saying, because you're not swayed now, or you're on the path, right, of like these sort of things that are not aligned with you. You don't even need to tempt that. Like it doesn't create so much of an emotional response from you anymore, because you're very strong in terms of being able to balance out anything that's coming your way. So this is, I think, honoring that for you at this time, and just letting you know like that is also part of what this journey has been about, even if that's never been the goal, right? It's like, no, well, this is the hidden, like under the surface energy, that this is what you've been being made into, essentially, and who you can be as you continue to move forward and get more and more of what you're actually desiring here. All right, so let's look at this other question here, which is some advice, the best way to handle things right now, considering all the information that just came through. What is some advice for my group number 3 folks? So in terms of advice here, we've got the Page of Wands along with the Queen of Cups and the Hermit with aloneness. So I love that the Page of Wands came out here with playfulness, because I think there is a need to bring some joy and just fun into your life and through, particularly in your intuitive practices, into the moments when you're connecting with your more divine or source energy, your guides, whatever it might be, however you work your spiritual practice or are able to reach those states, to bring more fun into it, to just, you know, bring laughter, or really notice how, you know, watching things that make you laugh or come back into more of that like childlike energy actually helps you feel more in tune and able to receive more clarity and more messages, and also just lets this journey like makes the time go by faster, honestly, to like from going from one place to the next. I think that's really important there. And because sometimes when we're in the hermit energy, it can feel a lot. And like this is represented by the word aloneness. Like it can feel lonely at times, right? Even though we know we're on this important journey with ourselves, it doesn't mean that it's not difficult at times, even though it can feel really magical and incredible, and like profound, right? But I think this coming out with it is like, yeah, but there's ways that we can also bring our inner child and bring that spark of inspiration and wonder into these moments too. And, you know, even just like if you have opportunities to play with kids, or if you have young folks in your life, to really get inspired by them, because so much about connecting to source and to our divine spirit has to do with presence. And who are better at being present than children, you know? So really allowing their energy and that lightness to come into you and to ignite your spirit as well as you're moving forward, and know that those sorts of practices can also really help you even deepen further into this role really that you're taking on as this alchemist energy, and also through this Queen of Cups with that like fully connected energy, and just like so deeply intuitive and in tune with your own emotions and with the flow of things. I also love that it's underneath the Wheel of Fortune, just feeling very much like the more you can flow through experiences and continue to release when you know you need to release, and just let yourself be, right? Let the process continue to unfold as it needs to, and know very clearly that this is waiting for you, you know, like you are getting closer to that. And that it doesn't have to feel arduous, it can feel fun. You can bring some joy into the process as well. So let's look at your final card here. This is for, you know, any synchronicities or energy that might be coming forward as you are getting really close to moving through and getting to the other side of this, getting closer to success in whatever this is that you're hoping for. So this is a deck that an old friend of mine made called Visions, a crystal oracle deck. I thought it would be cool to actually read from it too. They're all different crystals. So you got petrified wood. Ooh, one of my favorite stones or minerals. I don't know. Like, I guess it's a crystal. How do people define petrified wood? I don't know. It's so beautiful though. Okay, so let's see what the book says about it. And this is, Visions, a crystal oracle deck. This is by Jessica Fancy, in case anyone's curious, although I don't think it's available anymore. It was quite a while ago. All right, petrified wood is a great stone to assist you in realizing and manifesting your goals. If you are finding yourself at some roadblocks, petrified wood is letting you know that your perfectionistic or rigid thinking may be getting in the way of your own success. Grounding, calming of nerves and fears are all things this stone is here to help you with. The constant worrying that may be going on for you is doing more harm than good. Petrified wood is showing up for you and offers feelings of safety and well-being. Stop sweating all the small stuff. Start making some lists to try and get a new perspective. It's time to start looking at the big picture. Start expanding your vision. The universe is here to guide you. Trust the process. Oh, look, and it says the tarot card is Wheel of Fortune. Zodiac Virgo. So it might be, I'm just trying to think of like different signs or energy that you might be in as you're getting closer. It might be that when you do stop like sweating the small stuff, right? That you know that you're really in onto something, like you're getting closer. When this becomes a lot easier, like when you're allowing yourself to see the big picture. To me, this is like finding a way. I'm just thinking about like the Virgo Pisces axis here, because the big stuff, the higher vision, right? That's that Pisces energy, which is traditionally ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is that ability to zoom out into our wider vision. I'm thinking about this Queen of Cups, which is very Cancer energy, and Jupiter's in Cancer right now. And so to me, there is this way, this like great expansion of the heart that's happening for everyone, and allowing us to be a lot more in tune with on an emotional level with our visions from that sense of like emotional fulfillment. And so if there is a way that you're noticing that the little things are just not as much of an issue anymore, right? Or you're able to quickly move into a space of seeing the bigger picture, that those are definitely signs that this is coming in pretty soon, right? I think also noticing yourself not finding yourself in a more joyful space too with this playfulness card, or like having things that remind you, I don't know, like different signs or things that remind you of you as a child, or different synchronicities. It was funny, before I was doing this reading, I was just like seeing visions a lot around children and youth and like young adulthood. Like I was seeing that movie like now and then, which maybe that'll age me, but whatever. Maybe that was something important from such a like a huge coming of age film. So like maybe moments like that, or where you're like coming full circle. I think I said that already, like coming full circle in something, that it could be almost like, I was thinking like revisiting a ritual, or like an old friend from a time when you were a lot younger. Some things like that might really be signs that things are really, really starting to shift around this energy for you. Yeah, I think that's all the messages for the reading today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this, feel free to subscribe if you're not already. I would absolutely love to have you around to get notified when I make new videos. And if you want a personal, I actually for the first time have decided to open up readings. So I do astrology sessions, and sometimes I will draw cards for clients, but I have never actually just offered tarot and oracle readings for folks as like from a professional stance. Obviously I've been reading cards forever for friends and family, but never like, you know, in a professional way. So aside from doing YouTube, if you can call this professional, but I love it, and I'm really curious to see what it can offer people just to do the tarot and oracle on their own without doing the astrology alongside of it. So if that interests you, I'm offering one question readings. So it's $25, and I will send you a recorded video that is about 15 to 20 minutes long answering your question. So that can be found in the description box below if you're interested in it. And otherwise, yeah, I really hope you have a wonderful evening or day whenever you're watching this. And hopefully I'll see y'all another time. Sending so much love your way through this process. Keep the hope. You're really getting there. And like, you should be really proud of yourself and all that you have truly been able to create for yourself thus far, and create of yourself is what I should say as well. All right, sending so much love to y'all. Bye.